The boy had never set foot outside the forest because he was under a demonic spell. Once he touched a human, he would die. But one day a little girl was lost in the forest. It happened that the boy was passing by, and the girl saw someone and thought she was saved. She lunged towards the boy, who rushed to avoid it. The girl fell heavily to the ground and stared at the boy with a resentful face. Apologetically, the boy explained to the girl that if he is touched by a human, he will disappear. The girl was excited. Then you must be a demon, right? Then she reached out and tried to touch the boy. The boy kept dodging, but the girl kept pursuing him. Finally, the boy could not stand it anymore, so he took a wooden stick and smashed it on her head. Then the boy picked up the stick and led the girl out of the forest. Before saying goodbye, the girl asked the boy if she could see him again. The boy told the girl that this was a forest where demons lived, and once she entered, she would be compelled and could not get out. But the girl is not afraid. She will come again tomorrow with a thank you gift. On her way home, the girl met her grandfather, who started with the same trick. The girl asked her grandfather if there were any monsters in the forest. Grandpa laughed and told her a story from the past. When they were kids, they got into a festivals by mistake. But there was no village there, so how could there be festivals? Everyone guessed that it was held by a demon. This story kept the girl awake at night, and she became even more convinced of what she thought. The next day she came to the forest with a thank you gift and saw that the boy was waiting for her early. The girl was so happy, but then she received a heavy blow with a wooden stick. She forgot the rule of not touching the boy again. The boy took her on a tour of the forest. A clear river, delicious ice cream. The two of them were very happy, but then a dark figure approached. He asks the boy if he can eat the girl, and naturally the boy protects her. The dark shadow warned the girl, "Don't touch the boy." The girl was terrified. At that moment the boy sneezed and the black shadow was scared out of its shape. It turned out to be a cowardly fox. It came to warn the girl for the boy's safety. The girl laughed heartily. She finally saw the real monster. Every day after that, the girl came to the forest. She was so happy with the boy that she enjoyed even the most boring little things. This day the boy was lying on the lawn asleep. The girl was curious about what was under the boy's mask. She picked up the mask gently, and it was a handsome face. At that moment the boy woke up. He did not blame the girl. The girl asked him why he always wore a mask. The boy said strangely, "If I don't wear it, I don't look like a demon." On the way down the mountain, the girl told the boy that she would not be able to come tomorrow, because she was just taking advantage of the holiday to play at her grandfather's house. She had to go back to school. The boy asked her if she could come next year too. Girl got back on her feet and looks forward to summer every year since. But the two of them also attracted the demons in the forest. They were all very worried about the boy. The girl looked around at the monsters and felt a little envious, because only the monsters can touch the boy. And the boy was actually very worried too. When the girl accidentally fell from the branch of the tree, he wanted to go over and catch the girl, but at that moment he retracted his hand. He could only say sorry on the sidelines. The girl didn't blame him.
何があっても絶対私に触らないでね。絶対よ。
In the blink of an eye, the girl grew up and became a young middle schooler. She never missed a summer. Once again, she noticed the problem. The boy didn't seem to age. This made her realize that at some point in the future they would be completely separated. It so happened that she learned from her grandfather that this winter would be very cold. She immediately knitted a scarf for the boy. But when she returned to school again, the girl was in a state of distraction and her appetite was getting worse. At this early age of love, she missed him every day. She wanted to touch him so much. In the blink of an eye, the girl was in high school. In order to be with the boy more often, she decided to find a job here after 3 years. The boy didn't answer. He just told about his childhood. He was abandoned by his parents in the forest at birth. He should have perished in the forest, but he attracted the nearby demons with his cries. The mountain god had mercy and cast a magic spell for him. The price was that his body would become very weak and would disappear when he touched humans. The girl was not discouraged, but asked the boy not to forget her. They agreed to cherish every moment before they parted. but the gods played a joke on them. While fishing, the boy invited the girl to join the monster Japanese festivals. The girl was very excited, but she was a little scared when she thought of all the monsters around. The boy said, "I will protect you."
そういうこと言われると飛びつきたくなってしまう。
飛びつけばいい。本望だ。
With these words, the girl understood that the boy also wanted to touch her. The Japanese festivals are very busy at night. The monsters were all in human form, just like the human Japanese festivals. The boy was afraid she would get lost, so he tied the two of them together with a silk scarf.
デートみたいですね。
デートなんですね。
They had a great time at the Japanese festivals, but the good times were short-lived. Once the summer is over, they will be apart again. The boy confesses to the girl he can't wait for summer anymore. At that moment, he took off his mask and put it on the girl's face. Then he kissed the girl through the mask.
その面、やるよ。
The girl thought this might be the last time they would see each other. Suddenly, two children ran past. Seeing the child was about to fall, the boy reflexively pulled him. However, it was this pull that made the boy's body begin to dissipate, because it was a human child.
来い、ホタル。やっとお前に触れられる。
The girl smiled and ran over to him, a moment she had been waiting for a long time. They could finally use the warmth of their skin to communicate their feelings.